Freedom and liberty, today the words are almost interchangeable. Let's take a little trip to ancient Greece and Rome, guided by Aristotle and Cicero, to see how they were nuanced and different in the intellectual heart of Western civilization. We'll start with Aristotle's concept of freedom. Aristotle used the term eleutheria. Freedom wasn't just the absence of physical chains. It was the deep internal capacity for rational self-direction. It was the ability to choose right actions based on one's rational self-direction. This was the ability to choose the right actions based on one's reason. The example is of a slave. Even if their master never interferes with their movements, they are not truly free because their life can be dictated by another's will. Their own reasoned choices are not the final arbitrator of their choices. Politically, Aristotle believed citizens were free when they actively participated in governing, taking turns to rule and be ruled. A complexity of context with Aristotle's democracy is not that everyone was considered a citizen. In Athens, only free adult men with citizens' rights, about 20% of the population, were able to vote and participate. Women were not citizens and therefore could not vote or have a voice in the political process, and slaves and foreign people definitely could not vote. Participation in government implied a relationship of non-dominance. Aristotle identified two key aspects of democratic freedom: the ability to live as one wished, and an equal share in the holding of public office. Pericles, in his famous funeral oration, spoke of democracy where power rested in the people, where everyone was equal before the law, and where merit, not class, determined public responsibility. For Aristotle, then, true freedom was intricately woven with the virtuous, rational individual and the self-governing polis. However, libertas was a deeply contested concept in Roman society. As Geoff Kennedy explores in his work, Cicero, Roman Republicanism and the Contested Meaning of Libertas, Cicero was a prominent defender of the Roman Republic's aristocratic structure. He championed what he called ordered liberty, or concordia. To Cicero, liberty was not about absolute equality. It was about maintaining harmony among the social classes and preserving the existing hierarchies. The dignitas, or social standing of the best man, or autokratos, or authority of the Senate. Cicero favored equity in proportionate distribution of property and offices based on one's rank and contribution over equilibritas, or absolute equality. Cicero famously condemned what he saw as democratic notions of liberty, equating them with licentia, or anarchy. He presented a scathing caricature of this excess liberty as dissolving of traditional orders, extending freedom to even slaves, women, and children, which he viewed as a dangerous destabilization of authority. The horrors of it, women and the enslaved having civic freedom. For Cicero, genuine liberty had to exist within a carefully balanced, law-governed framework that preserved the established aristocratic order. He often used the concept of natural law to block popular or democratic reforms he deemed as destructive, effectively serving as an ideological bulwark for aristocratic power. To summarize the differences, Aristotle, for him, freedom emphasized an individual's rational self-direction and active democratic participation in a self-governing community. For Cicero, liberty focused on ordered liberty for non-domination within a specific area often within a hierarchical constitutional framework, explicitly rejecting what he saw as dangerous democratic license. The distinction wasn't always a clear binary, but rather a spectrum of contested meanings that shaped by who was defining it and what their ideal of social order and political power are throughout history. We have contested meanings of liberty and freedom. Early Western civilization laid a complex foundational groundwork for our understanding of freedom and liberty. Concepts often understood as responsible, ordered conditions intrinsically linked to virtue and rule of law. The debates will continue to resonate in our modern world. Thank you.